neither of you are angels in this. You know, you both are very deeply complex and layered, and we see a little bit more of the not so nice things with you earlier on than we do with you. You know that this emotion is part of the show. It is not a part of you. Yet we, as an audience, have to feel that emotion.
Well, the audience doesn't really know me.
Okay.
They don't know Peter, and they don't really know the character of Haggerty either.
Okay.
Because I don't show them enough of him. But that doesn't mean that there's not a story going on. And that's a story that I have to occupy as an actor, and I have to find myself. So it is compartmentalized in the sense that one finds the core of it, a core,
right.
And you bring it with you. But it's, I guess the hard thing is you have to use yourself. You don't compartmentalize sounds as if you close it off into another part of you. But in fact, what you're doing is finding within yourself something that is an overlap or similar to the character and bringing it forward.
I think for me, there's probably more outward overlap. Like I'm not a method actor. I don't really subscribe to that stuff. I think you act and then you. But like I have a young son. I was going through a separation when we shot the first season. I'm from London. I live in London. We were shooting sometimes on streets where like I had nostalgic memories of growing up there. And of course you're always like, and I'm here. I'm doing my job. I'm not a police officer. That's not what I'm. And I would say the biggest challenge was the physicality of what was happening to June in season 1 and this season as well, and then putting that together with her emotions means that sometimes you just have to I've had to learn to be more thoughtful about my nervous system playing these kinds of parts, because if you're fighting all day, you know you're fighting all day, pretend, but your body kind of doesn't know you're pretending, and the two can get a little like not blurred in any way, but like you're tired and you're into the story, and I've had to like literally on a technical level think about that, about looking after myself. The rest of it, I think, I mean, like you said, compartmentalize is hard to you're always bleeding into everything, but the rest of it I can kind of pop in and out of, and kind of I can find the separation. Strangely, it's harder, I feel like later on talking about the show we've made. It's weird, it's like once we can completely step away from it, I almost get more emotional about it than when I'm inside of it.
Time to reflect and process.
Maybe you're separated from the character at that point, so you can reflect from the outside and go, oh, poor her. You know, whereas at the time you're not feeling poor me, you're just thinking, oh, I just feel this way.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that I noticed, and thank you for making a brilliant show. This is so smart, so succinct, so engaging and captivating. And I love the fact that you're a couple years older than Cush.
More than a couple.
Just a couple. But I think with that, I see a relevance in reality of, you know, you come in, especially in the first season, you're not jaded, you want to make the world a better place, and I can do this, you're all hopeful, and you're like, meh, kind of giving up on that.
Yeah, well obviously, you know, the flinty old cop, you know, who meets the newbie, the enthusiastic, younger, morally straighter cop, they're a couple of tropes really, they've been around for a long time.
Right.
And that's not to disavow them, because they're great. I love those kind of characters, and you know they are part of this story too. But we didn't want to do a show where, you know, I would learn life lessons from Cush, and we have some little gags and we would warm to each other. We wanted to remain at each other's throats because we thought that was more interesting. But generationally, the world has completely changed for Haggerty. He has survived it. I mean, many of his peers haven't.
Right.
You know, they've either been incapable of bending and surviving the system, but he has been able to do it. He also recognizes that you can, I think he does have a morality, but it's one that's been beaten up and scarred, and he recognizes that he can't help everyone. So he has to select who he can help.
Okay.
And that means sometimes other people lose. Those who he hasn't chosen will fall by the wayside. But that's how he is at the moment.
From the very beginning, I was fascinated about doing a show where the younger cop wasn't going to learn anything from the older cop, and where actually she was going to push back what was going on. We've been told since we've been really young, adults know best.
Right.
The older people show your elders respect.
Right.
They know what's best, and right now we live in a world where the elders are not doing the best thing, and they're having to be challenged often by younger generations or their own generation.
Right.
And so that was always an interesting dynamic, even before the world went utterly crazy before season 1, because I thought, well, here's a dynamic where like there's nothing romantic going on here.
Right.
They're not going to learn anything from each other. They're actually going to be, there's going to be friction because she's not going to put up with certain things.
Right.
And then she's also always being challenged in the show by the fact that however annoying it is to her, particularly in this season, she gets to really see Haggerty do his police work.
Right.
And it drives her up the wall, but he's a really good cop. They have that in common. It's magnetic, actually, like watching him work. She's much more on that level. So it's even more frustrating to her because she's like, actually, we have a lot in common.
Right.
But God, I hate the way you do things. And I hadn't seen that really on screen before.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, I can develop with that. This can grow somewhere because it's unpredictable and slightly disrespectful in its, I like that.
Absolutely. Your relationship is, you don't have the trust there, but you want to have the trust, and it's very complicated. How do you take that from the page and then create that? I mean, you have an amazing director, the script is incredible, but it's got to be, you talked about a little bit about this chemistry between the two of you. How do you rehearse this? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we've known each other for a long time.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah, because we first worked together when Cush was a crazy kid with a dream. And
Almost 20 years ago.
And
Really?
Yeah, and I was already a beaten up cynic. But I've watched her blossom into this amazing classical actress. This is someone who's played Hamlet, which is the greatest role in the canon, and she did it magnificently. And it's just been working with a lesser-known doctor, David Tennant, in the Scottish play. So we have, and we love each other, and we're close to each other. So we have to distance ourselves. We have to place a kind of concrete block between us.
Okay.
Not for real, because obviously that would be complicated.
A little difficult.
But yeah, we don't rehearse. We know what we're saying,
Okay.
Yeah.
but not what's gonna happen.
I would say it's sort of kind of slightly, because I don't really do it with anybody else. No, I don't. I just see what, I know Cush is always going to surprise me. I don't know what she's going to do. She always does something different with the words and with her attitude that I would expect. So because we run with 2 cameras all the time, my reaction to it is usually really my reaction. It's the first time that I've seen it. So I think that helps to keep it fresh. But in a way we sort of become, I'm getting all spiritual now because we've done.
Yeah.
Because we've been through the ringer now. They're sort of, I think the zones that we get into are quite clear.
Yeah.
They're not like those kind of actory zones.
No.
All kinds of
Oh,
emotion,
right,
drama, and
yeah.
show. Everything gets kind of pushed aside.
Yeah.
Just so these 2 characters can engage in their discussion. And I think that we actually become sort of conduits for those ideas, for those whatever plans Paul, the writer, has for Haggerty, will be coming down that tube.
Yeah.
And they will be butting up against you.
Yeah.
I always find it's quite a kind of clear and clean space, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. It's weird because you would think if you don't know what's going to happen, that could make us seem physically or mentally quite messy.
Right.
It's weird how we don't know what's going to happen, but it's quite clear to us. But I think that's to do with how much the scripts give us so much character development that when it's time for a skirmish, it's really clear.
Yeah.
It's almost like getting to a monologue in Shakespeare. It's like once you've done all the duologues, the monologue suddenly just comes out of your mouth because you know who they are.
Right.
It's a bit like that, but I just love working with him.
And that's why this show works. This is brilliant. So thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much.
That ends
Thank
your
you.
therapy session for today.
We'll see you next week.